Okay, this is 1 cup of sugar in a small saucepan, and I'm heating it up and just stirring it to dissolve it. It's natural sugar. It's not refined. So once it comes to a boil, then I'll be adding the tea bags. Now that the water has come to a simmer, I'm going to add 8 black tea bags. And it's just regular black tea, nothing fancy. You can pick it up for $1 or $2 at Walmart or wherever. So I'm going to put 8 of those bags in. Make sure they get nice and soaked. And then I turn off the heat and I cover this up. And now I'm going to let that steep for several hours, ideally overnight. I like a really nice strong tea when I make my kombucha. So once this is done steeping, I'll be back. So that's 1 cup of sugar, whatever your choice, natural or refined, and 8 black tea bags. Or you can mix and match tea bags. You can do green and black. I've even done it with herbal teas, and it's turned out really nice. So anyway, I'll be back, and we'll finish the process once these tea bags have finished steeping. It's morning. The tea is cold, and it's very strong and very dark, as you can see. It's not much. It's like maybe a quart of tea, sweet tea, very strong and very sweet. So now I'm going to put it into my container, which is a continuous brew, and you can see how nice and healthy and thick the SCOBY is. I'll try and get another view of it. It's very, very nice. Let me see if I can get it more in the light. But it's nice and healthy and white. There's no mold on it. So now I'm going to pour the strong tea into my vessel here. Now I haven't made kombucha since October, and this has just been sitting at room temperature. So now I'm going to make a new batch. So I'm going to try and do this with one hand. And I'm just going to pour all the tea into this container. I spilled some of it. Anyway, sometimes your SCOBY will float to the top, sometimes it doesn't. Either way is okay. So let me get some fresh water now, filtered water to put in here. I'll be right back. So I have my filtered water here, and what I usually do is I get filtered water from my refrigerator filter, and then I double filter it through this Brita type water filter system. I got this one at Aldi's. They have these periodically when they have their specials. So I like to double filter my water. Now this is how much just sweet tea is in there, but it's too strong just the way it is. So now I'm going to add my water. And I'm just going to put that in there. And I'm going to put the whole thing in. And that should about do it. I don't normally fill up the whole gallon because then the kombucha gets too weak, but So now this is going to sit and ferment for anywhere from 7 to 10 days. That's the flavor that I like it. After that, it gets a little too tart for me. So after that amount of time, I'll bottle it and let it sit out another 3 days to a week and let it double ferment, and it comes out with a really delicious brew. And I flavor it with juice or blueberries or both, or whatever fruit you like, and it'll get a little fizzy after that time. Now I'm going to cover this. You have to cover to keep out the fruit flies, because fruit flies like kombucha too. So I have this tea towel that I cover it with, and again, it's hard to do with one hand, but this kind of keeps it a little bit dark in there, which the kombucha likes. And I just set it in my dining room, and then I put a rubber band over the top of it. So let me do that. The rubber band, it keeps it nice and tight. And there is my gallon of continuous brew kombucha. Couldn't be easier, and for what they want in the store for a bottle, $3 or $4. And homemade is just so much better. It just has so much better of a taste. And you can make this as often as you want or as little as you want. Sometimes I'll have a couple of these going if I'm really in the mood for a lot of kombucha. So, but I'm running low on my stash and that I keep in the fridge. And it's time to make some more. So I'll update again when it comes time to bottle. See you later. I forgot to mention, before I put the tea in with the extra water, I always leave, about a cup or a cup and a half of old kombucha in the vessel before I pour the tea in. That's that with the SCOBY is what gets it brewing for the next batch. So this is where my kombucha vessel lives. It's just in my dining room, and it's covered up, and it's kind of dark in here, so that's what it likes. And then I wanted to show you too, this is my SCOBY hotel, and you can see I've got a big huge SCOBY in there. They get very thick if you let them go, but this has several in the bottom too. I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of dark. But anyway, if my other SCOBY ever gets ruined, I'll have several to pick from. And I've given my son a couple of SCOBYs so he can make his own kombucha too. So it's a lot of fun experimenting with the different flavors and coming up with new recipes. And some of it's really pretty too. Last batch I made was like a purple color. I used blueberries and cherry juice, black cherry juice, and it was really, really tasty. So anyway, I just wanted to give you that little update, and I'll post again once it's done.